We let you both live, and you wasted it.
The Last of Us 2, a game that never should have happened. In this video, I will go over my legit criticism of the game, unlike I'm Dante, who just rated the game a 4 out of 10, saying how the game was about the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and while Joel dies in the second game, Abby doesn't get killed, and he didn't like playing with Abby for half the game. Now, in his 20-minute video, the only objective criticism was Joel's death, but he didn't even expand on it, so his 4 out of 10 rating is really just him being salty like a lot of The Last of Us 2 haters. Spoilers for The Last of Us 2. What is wrong with the game? Well, to start off with, we have to look at the plot and exposition. The game is a revenge story, the entire exposition, Joel's death, making no sense. Abby is about to die and Joel saves her. Abby, Tommy, and Joel are soon to be overrun by infected, realizing the horses won't be able to make it back all that way, back to Jackson. Abby proposes to them going back to their place. Then, as you know, when they reach there and are inside, Tommy introduces them to her friends and Joel gets shot in the knee moments later. Now, the whole idea that they couldn't go back to Jackson because the horses wouldn't make it back all that way is complete bullshit. I mean, just look at the temperatures horses can handle. At the mansion, their backpacks are nowhere to be seen, but that shouldn't matter. They are both on guard, yet they don't think to pull out their handgun that they must have in between their waistband. Joel even tells Abby to get it over with when he's shot, and so even if he dies in like a shoot off, it would have been okay because, well, that's essentially what Joel wanted, right? He wanted to get shot, he wanted it to be over with. Adding to the bad writing of the scene, Tommy should have had a clear view of Abby bringing out a shotgun, but didn't react to that. Even though they were both already suspicious, he only reacted after Abby shot Joel. Then when Joel was shot, Tommy tries to move and help Joel rather than reaching for his handgun. Abby didn't think to contemplate at all about Joel having just saved her and just brutally murders him. When he was up against the wall, Abby was saying, "Look at me." And Joel asked who she is, and Abby said,
"Guess."
Like, how is he supposed to know who she is? You'd think the person getting revenge would have a monologue explaining who they are and what the other person did, but no, that didn't exist. Then when Ellie is inside the mansion, she hears someone screaming in pain downstairs, yet she still keeps on calling out for Joel, which would, give away her position. Makes no sense. The following morning, whenever it was, Tommy says that he saw WILF patches on them. Like, are you kidding me? He saw those patches and was still not prepared to pull out his gun. Joel's death is only one of the many forced plot devices in the game now. All that I talked about just now would be many forced plot devices, but for the sake of this video, I summed it down to just one. Another being what happened with Tommy. I mean, it's clear that Neil just likes to kill off characters, but Tommy got shot in the head and somehow survived, even though there was no way he would have been able to get the immediate medical care he needed. At first, it's kind of off-putting to think about, like, wow, Neil actually kept a character alive. Though that wasn't with good intentions, because Tommy later goes off on Ellie about her having let go of her revenge quest, which then causes her to go again for her revenge. Again, just a forced plot device. Tommy somehow survives and he turns from initially wanting Ellie to stay away and going off on his own to get revenge to himself letting go and wanting the others to let go of the quest and to, well, now angry at Ellie for having let go. Like, yeah, Abby kills Jesse and she fucks him up, but with his changed mindset, it's clear getting shot in the head gave him, some sort of brain damage. Yeah, he just somehow survived and ended up with brain damage. I mean, there's no way that he survived, but he somehow did. Abby went there to the theater as retaliation to get revenge for her friends, saying to Ellie, "You killed all my friends." The only reason Ellie killed her friends is because, well, they all tried to attack her. the one playing the PS Vita pulled a knife on Ellie, and after Ellie killed her, because well, she couldn't really do anything else in her positions, she literally goes, well, that was stupid. Now, this next plot device is fairly understandable, but when the game already has so many plot devices, forced plot devices, and another forced plot device, credibility kind of gets thrown out the window. Plot device number 4 being how Ellie forgot her map at the aquarium, which is how Abby came to know of their location. Manny and Abby think they will be able to catch Tommy by surprise by opening another door and going around, but when they're trying to push open the door, it makes a lot of noise, so like, what? How Yara didn't even crouch but stood out in the open and then of course died. Stealth just went out the window in a game where the characters are supposed to be stealthy. Ellie and Jesse running out towards the sound they hear, not even thinking to put their heads against the door to listen before going out. I mean, I get it how it happened so fast. Jesse's death was shocking, but if they listened first and then went out, Abby still could have shot Jesse, so Jesse's death would have still happened, but it actually make more sense. Anyways, aside from of course being sad, this was my reaction to Joel and Tommy getting shot.
Oh, what fucking luck is bullshit.
It's the fact that these guys are not hunters. Like Joel's looking for hunters. These are regular people.
When they walk in with their horses, you could see a military jeep, so how does it make sense for Joel and Tommy to think of them as regular people and not militants?
I would say there are moments that are meant to be uncomfortable. I mean, the whole experience is not meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to take you through all sorts of emotion.
The whole game is literally depression. The flashbacks, even at the museum, just make you more sad.
And what this story needed is a brutal, cruel death for everything that happens afterwards.
It didn't need a brutal, cruel, shocking death. It didn't even need a sequel. If all you could think of was a revenge story, that too, with over 10 instances of bad writing, the story should have never been finalized into a game, and the first game should have been left standalone. I won't get into all the good things about the game, and we'll just say that although the story had so many instances of bad writing, it was a hell of a journey. I mean, the story got me so emotional and the gameplay was near perfect. There were a lot of amazing details, like while playing Ellie, you saw that the lights were turned on in the hospital and you could hear the wrecking that Abby was fighting. I give the story a 6 out of 10, the gameplay a 9 out of 10, and how much it felt like The Last of Us a 7.5 out of 10. All of which give the game an average score of 7.5 out of 10. Still, I wish the sequel was different, but anyways, it's been your boy. I gotta go cry some more watching some Let's Play of this game. See ya.